Okay, well, it's past 11, so let's get going. All right, welcome everyone to the AI Playbook Part 2. Um, Hopefully you guys were on last week or watched last week's recording, where we broke it down into kind of discussing what exactly is a large language model, an LLM. We talked through some of the different myths surrounding AI, talked a little bit about mindset, how there's essentially two different buckets of use with AI: lead generation and then getting stuff done. And this second AI playbook that Keller Williams came out with is more about how to, like that second bucket, how to get stuff done. So we're now going to go into more of perfecting your prompt and how to put it into action. So today, we'll kind of get through that a little bit more in terms of starting to put it into action. And then next week is all about putting it into action, some of the compliance pieces of it, and we'll finish out that playbook. Um, so just as a little bit of a recap again. So actually, let me share my screen here so you can all see this. All right. So I talked about those two buckets. So we went through that. And then we went through a little bit more about understanding those large language models, how to pick the large language model or the AI assistant that you are going to be using, um, personalizing that AI assistant. And then today we're talking about perfecting your prompt and starting to put that into action. All right. Just to kind of go through again, a few of the large language models that are available to use today. You've got ChatGPT, which I think a lot of people use. It's the jack of all trades, probably the most popular one. Then you have Gemini, that's through Google. And then you have a few other ones listed out here. So they each kind of have their different kind of niches in terms of what's best for what. So if you're looking more for like a creative writer, use Perplexity. So just some ideas here as you get going with using and choosing that large language model. And then we talked about personalizing your AI assistant. Um, so I'm just going to get my Zoom toolbar over here a little bit. Let's see here. Sorry, my Zoom video is like taking up half my screen and my cursor is, 1 second, guys. Let's try this again. Okay. I couldn't find my cursor, so I wanted to make sure I'm like not taking up my screen here. Okay. All right. So, back to just personalizing your AI assistant. So we had gone through this last week a little bit and talked about personalization. So acting, as your default instructions for all future interactions. So you want to feed it before you expect it to give you the answers that you're looking for. So once you fill it out and set those expectations of your preferred writing style, your tone, the format, and your role, this is how your assistant will interact with you each and every time that you make updates, until you make updates, essentially. So with memory, AI acts like your executive assistant that never forgets key facts about you, your goals, your quirks, past conversations, so that you don't repeat yourself. And we went through some different communication styles. So this is all information and things that you can think about in order to personalize it and feed it so that it knows what you're looking for. So this was kind of the homework section of last week. Is I challenged you all to like go through this AI playbook, and it gives you some really good ideas in terms of how to personalize your AI assistant. So the first is to identify your preferred communication style. So do you want the tone to be friendly, formal, analytical, succinct, details, professional? I love how it has Gen Z in here. So think about that communication style that you prefer, and sounds like you. You don't want it to sound like a robot. You want it to sound like you. And then step two is adding personal insights. So, your name, your family, the key people in your life. What are your hobbies or your interests? What are your core values and beliefs? Your preferences, whether that's diet preferences, travel, movies that you like. What are some top personal goals that you have for yourself? Some health goals or habits, list off all of those. And what are some off limit topics? So, what are some topics that you do not want this AI assistant to even mention? And then you're going to get into your business instructions. So, what industry are you in? Do you have a niche market? Your core services? Do you specialize in working with seniors or first time home buyers? So, feed it all of that information because, again, this is all going to help when it's, you know, building out your 36 touch or your email newsletters. What's your ideal customer or client profile? What are some of your business pain points? So you can feed it information like, I hate social media. I hate drafting Instagram comments, or maybe you don't like more of the contract, the TC work. So as you're going through this and reading through this AI playbook, you can start to think of just um, different kind of roles that you're doing that you can kind of offload onto the AI assistant as well. Talk about and feed it what your short term goals are, those 30 to 90-day goals. And then your long term vision. Where do you want to see yourself in 3 to 5 years with your business? What are some key business metrics that you track? Or what are you currently not tracking that you want to track? And then what are some other business tools and apps that you are using? Again, all of this information, feed it into that AI assistant. It's going to help with providing the right answers that you're looking for. All right. So hopefully you've all sort of done that and at least started thinking through some of those things so that when the time comes and you're ready to actually start using ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever large language model that you decide to use, you have that built out. You can feed it right away, and then you can start perfecting your prompts and actually asking that AI assistant what you need it for. Okay. So, diving into perfecting your prompt. So, there's a model called RICE, which stands for Role, Instructions, Context, and Examples. So, it helps you with formulating this prompt. So, it's not just a, hey, write me a social media post. It's a little bit more informed, and it gives the AI assistant really what it needs to give you a really solid answer here. So again, think about one thing that the AI assistant can take from your work this week. So what can you assign it in order to make your life a little bit easier? But in terms of working with the RICE model, so the role, so you're going to explain who the assistant is, how it should communicate, and what its main goals are. Then you're going to tell the model what you want it to do and what you don't want it to do. So set those rules and give clear direction. Use clear tone words to shape the response, like formal, casual, friendly, kind of like what we looked at in that chart before where what feed it what tone you want it to say. So context, add any extra information the model needs, like data it wouldn't already know. Put this near the end since it may change with each use. And then provide examples. So, examples of ideal responses that you'd like to see. So, this is going to help guide the model's responses to your liking. So, an example of this, as I mentioned, instead of just saying write a post for Instagram, you could say something like act as a marketing expert, write a 100-word Instagram caption for first time buyers using a friendly tone. And here's an example that I like. So you may follow another real estate agent, whether it's in our market or a different state, and maybe you like how they structure their Instagram posts. You could copy and paste that example and provide that to the model, the AI assistant. So that's how you can utilize that rice model when you're formulating those prompts. So keep this in mind as you're writing those out. All right. So along with the rice model, there's also a few hacks that you can utilize. So these are really interesting, and I think these are really good to think about as well. So here are just a few. So clarification. You can say, ask me questions first. So make the AI assistant clarify before it gives you an answer. Show your work and cite your sources. Now, I think a lot of AI models already do this, which I think is great because, if you're researching something or you want to find exactly where it's pulling this information, I think a lot of these now actually have links to the sources where it's pulling that information. But it's still good if it doesn't do that to include that hack there. Show your work, cite your sources. You have the action plan, so break it down. So instead of having like a wall of text, ask it to have it provide you step-by-step plans instead of just that text. So break it down. The options hack, so give me 3 different solutions. So instead of it just providing one solution, have it give you some options. Critique your own answer. What am I missing? And argue the opposite view. So these are all different hacks that you can use to really enhance the responses that the AI assistant is providing you. All right, does anyone use these hacks or have you used these hacks in the past? Would love just to hear like any input if you guys are already using AI and have kind of found some good ways to perfect your prompts in order to get you the answers that you're looking for. So if anyone wants to share, feel free to come off mute or add it in the chat. Would love to hear some feedback from you guys. All right. For some reason, my mouse like isn't working when I'm sharing my screen, so I'm trying to look at the chat, and it won't let me. Okay. All right. So one thing that I really like is the give me 3 different solutions, the options hack. And I do think a lot of AI models do this already. Um, One thing that I really like, and maybe it's just when I'm using, there's a web browser called DIA. It's just for MacBook users. So I apologize if you are a PC user. It's not available to PCs, but there may be other options there. But essentially, it's a web browser where the AI is built in. And I feel like this version of it already provides 3 different options. So I really like that it compares like that I can compare 3 different options, and then I can see which one I like the best and then go with that or continue to prompt it for something additional. But I do think that's really good to keep in mind if it's only providing you one response, to ask it, okay, give me 3 different solutions, not just one, so that I can compare a few different ideas. I find that a lot too if I'm looking for like a really um, interactive or like a good call to action or an email subject line. I like to see a few different options before I choose the one that I'm going to go with. All right. So some other things to think about, just in order to make AI work for you. So reoccurring tasks. So these act like automated reminders that you schedule to show up at a set time and repeat, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, etc. They act like a done for you executive assistant. So, providing you exactly what you need when you need it, always on time. So, kind of think through some of those reoccurring tasks that you do every single week or every single day, and how can AI build that out better for you so that you're getting those notifications or you're working smarter, not harder, essentially. So, just a couple examples of that. It could be like having your AI assistant send you content ideas weekly for social media. Or you might just want it to ask you about your 411 every single Friday. So just those prompts to say, oh, like, oh, that's right. I have to, you know, check out my 411, make sure I have that built out for the next week, the next month. Or it's content ideas. It's okay. If you plan on posting to social media every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's okay. Well, what content am I going to include? Is it a simple is it, talking about just a monthly, or weekly tip for buyers and sellers? Okay, what do those look like? So, it's that reminder of giving you those content ideas so that you have that built out ready to go for the week. Projects. So projects are like file folders and smart workspaces. They bundle everything related to a specific task or a deal or an initiative so nothing gets lost in your chat history. So they're essentially just organized workspaces so you don't lose context. So you can kind of build out those different projects within that AI, that large language model, that AI assistant. There's also Perplexity Voice Assistant. So it's a voice activated AI assistant giving you fast sourced answers, launches tasks like setting to do reminders, sending emails, booking travel, all hands free. And I'm pretty sure really any AI model does this, ChatGPT, where you can have that voice assist instead of having to type out everything. And so there's just different ways of utilizing that kind of in your day to day life. This one I thought was really interesting, and I never thought about this or thought that there was, tools out there that did this, but there's free AI tools. One is called 11 Labs Reader and the other one is Notebook LLM. So, what these do is they turn written content or unread articles, researched, saved PDFs, they turn those into lifelike audiobooks or podcasts. So, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like for me, I'll like click an unread message, an email, which is like some sort of newsletter with an article. Or I'll look at an article online and kind of keep that tab open in my browser for a couple days, no thinking that, oh yeah, I'm going to go back to reading that. But I never do because I just don't have the time to read it. So using voice apps like these two, I think would be really helpful. So when I'm driving in my car for 45 minutes, I can say, oh, that's right. I can just listen to these like audiobooks instead of having to sit down and take the time to read them. So these could be really great. I know like, I get a ton of, like, emails from Keller Williams that are, like, from Jay Papasan and from all of these people that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, these are really great articles, I should read these." Well, turn those into, like, a podcast or audiobook that you can listen on your drive between showings, or if you're, have a 45-minute drive, to a showing or a client meeting, you can listen to them then. So, I thought that was a really good kind of, hack, essentially. Okay. I just want to stop here and see if anyone has any questions on what we covered so far, whether that was content from last week with personalizing the AI model or talking through perfecting that prompt using that RICE model. Does anyone have questions before we start putting this into action? Okay, and you guys feel free to interrupt me too. I do not take offense to that. I would love for your input to kind of hear how you're utilizing the AI model. If you are using it, if you have questions, so feel free to stop me and ask those questions too. All right. Okay, so the fun part, putting it into action. And so the playbook is going to go through several different sort of action plans in terms of whether it's creating a 36 touch framework, social media content creation, messages like newsletters, relocation guides, housing news, a lot of different things there. But today I just wanted to focus on the 36 touch framework. So I know I had mentioned in a team meeting a few weeks ago, utilizing AI to build out your 36 touch. And so easier said than done because you could ask it right now, build me out a 36 touch, and it would give you a pretty sort of robotic answer. Kind of a cut and paste, not very personalized response. And I think a 36 touch is really should be personalized for each agent because your sphere or your database is going to be different and have different needs and, in different, you know, times of their lives than somebody else's sphere of influence. Um, so I think it's really important to start thinking through whether it's writing down on paper, or just kind of formulating that 36 touch before you start integrating AI into perfecting it. Um, all right, so I'm just gonna kind of leave that up there. But we're gonna get into okay, how to exactly, put that 36 touch together. And I always like to start out with before you put together your 36 touch, make sure that you have your database in order. Make sure that it's organized so that it's going to work for you when the time comes to actually start setting up some of these these systems essentially. So, the first thing is you want to start using some sort of CRM platform. Whether that's Command, I'm going to use Command as an example, but most of these are going to be very similar in how you put them to use. So you want to ensure that you have your database uploaded to a CRM platform like Command, which is going to allow you to view and enter in all of the contact information and details for a particular person in your life, whether that's a client, past client, a family member, a friend, past coworker, whoever it is. You can then group those contacts by using tags. And again, a lot of these kind of terms that I'm using are similar. There might just be called something different in a different CRM platform. But having that database built out and organized prior to setting up your 36 touch is going to help you up tremendously in the long run. So you want to make sure that you have that database in order and ready to go for your 36 touch. Because once you have that database in there, you have them tagged and grouped in a certain way that's going to work for you, then you can start utilizing some of the tools and systems that are set up in Command, such as smart plans. So, smart plans are going to be more of those automated email communications, those task reminders, whether it's phone calls, text messages, posting to social media, commenting on people's social media, doing that a few times a day, kind of putting together exactly what that 36 touch framework looks like for you. Okay. Any questions, comments so far? Okay. All right. Does anyone not know what a 36 touch is? And feel free to no judgment. Promise. It's a new if you're new to Keller Williams, like I didn't know what a 36 touch was before I started with KW. So, all right. I'm going to get into ChatGPT and let's just say I have my 36 touch essentially kind of built out. I have it written down. I generally know what I want that to look like. And so now I want AI to help me with actually coming up with a framework for it with some different content ideas. And so this is how we're going to utilize this. So let me share my screen again. And I'm going to get ChatGPT up. So I already kind of put this together. So you can see sort of what my prompt looks like. So I said, I'm looking to build out a 36 touch campaign for my real estate business. I want to include 2 emails per month, a quarterly call with scripts, 2 pop-by ideas, something seasonal for my neighborhood, and 1 client event where I can partner with a preferred lender and a local business, something like a sip and shop event. So I'm giving it some examples of what I'm generally thinking of too. Provide a framework with content ideas and make the emails consistent with a strong call to action for best for open rates. So I got some of those ideas from the AI playbook, just to include. I really liked on I'm going to reference page 18 when it's talking about the 36 touch framework, where it has the problem ag the first section. I'm like, I don't know how to say that word. Agitate, solve. Anyway, so the pro tip is best for cold traffic and email open. So I thought that was really smart to include that in my prompt. So then, as you can see, this is what it provided me. So from my prompt, it's recognizing, okay, I want 24 emails to a month, 4 quarterly calls with scripts, 2 Popeyes that are seasonal and neighborhood focused, and 1 client event, co-branded with a lender and a local business. So here's my framework. So I really like that it's going to structure this for me so that I can easily view this and kind of visualize exactly what it's going to entail. So my biweekly emails, so structure for each email, I've got my subject line, which is going to be conversational, benefit driven, curiosity based, which it says best for opens. 2 to 3 short paragraphs and bullet points, and a call to action. Thinking about buying and selling soon? Let's connect. Or reply to this email for your personalized home value update. And so my email themes. So it goes through some different themes to offer some variety throughout the year. So some market updates, Milwaukee market snapshot, 3 trends buyers are watching right now, inventory is shifting, what that means for you. So it gives me some good email subject lines and general themes for my emails that I can then start putting together. I've got some educational tips, lifestyle and community, some personal and relationship building. And looking at this too, you can pull from a lot of the content that our marketing concierge already creates. So, fall festivals on around Milwaukee, we already have that email built out and created. So, that's available within the Smart Plan library in Command. So, you could pull that, use the same content, or pick and choose what you want. You can use the same sort of like email content, but maybe you want to upload your own design in there. So there's a lot of different options in here, and some of the content's already built out. Same thing for the Milwaukee market snapshot. We take the MLS market update emails and we kind of zhuzh that up a little bit and create an email smart plan specifically for that as well. All right. And so I also love that it offers some pro tips here. So every email should end with curious what your home is worth today. Click here for a quick valuation. This is something that you could have linked to your website with that home valuation form, um, which is something that you can build out and have available on your website. It's a template, so it's not like you're starting from scratch. So super simple to do and add to your website. All right. And then we've got our quarterly calls. So we also have scripts in here, which is great. So quarter one, January, um, and I must have created something for an agent. That's why it says Lauren in here. So it says, just wanted to wish you a happy new year. Did you make any fun resolutions for 2025 or obviously 2026? And then for April and quarter two, I wanted to check in as the spring market is heating up. How's everything going with the house? A lot of homeowners are surprised at how much their property could be worth right now. Would you like me to run a quick market update for you? July, just checking in. How's your summer going? And then kind of going through mid-year value, home value check. And then we've got October. Can you believe the holidays are almost here? I'm putting together my end of year market update. Would you like me to send you a copy so you can see what values are ending the year? So some really good examples here on scripts just to start those conversations for your quarterly calls. And again, I put in quarterly, maybe you do this monthly, or even more often than that. Totally up to you on how you want to formulate your 36 touch. And then I have those two pop-bys. So something for spring and summer, and it gives me some ideas, which is really helpful. So potted plants or herbs with a tag, your referrals help me grow. Branded water bottles, stay cool this summer. Remember, I'm just a call away. And then for fall and winter, we've got, mini pumpkin bread loaf. I thought this was cute. I'm here for all of your real estate needs, or a hot cocoa kit. Warm wishes from your neighborhood real estate expert. So again, just getting those ideas in your head and thinking through, okay, yes, I can see myself doing that hot cocoa kit, not super expensive. Buy in bulk a bunch of those hot cocoa packets. Grab my business card. Maybe I've got a trifold brochure that I include in there. So a lot of really cool ideas here. And then that client event. So I had given the example of a sip and shop client appreciation event. So partnering with a local boutique, brewery, coffee shop, anything like that. And then speaking with, let's say, your preferred lender partner or someone else that you work with in business to cover the drinks. The business also gets exposure, and you're also getting you're branding yourself and the boutique or the business that you're highlighting, or the location, and then they're doing the same thing with your business as well. So just some other ideas here. And then we've got that yearly touch breakdown. And I love that it says you can round out 36 by adding 5 personal texts or handwritten notes, whether it's birthdays, home anniversaries, holidays. So just adding to that as well. So then at the end, it said, would you like me to map this into a month by month calendar so you can see exactly what to do and send each month? I said, yes, of course, that'd be great. Okay, so here's my month by month breakdown, which is even more helpful. So I can see, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to do every single month. So in January, I'm going to send an email with a New Year's message and a market outlook. So what to expect. So it's even giving me kind of a subject line, an idea for exactly what that content's going to look like. Email 2, 5 quick fixes that add value before you sell. My call is going to be a New Year's check-in. And then a personal touch. I'm going to send handwritten notes to my top 10 clients, wishing you a great start to the year. Then in February, I've got my 2 emails. In March, I've got my 2 emails plus a personal touch, which is going to be a text message, and then so on and so forth. And you can see I always have those 2 emails, and it's going to give me ideas for subject lines. Then I have my quarterly call, my pop by, another personal touch, my call, personal touch, so on and so forth. All right. So that it gave me exactly 36 touches for the year. And then at the end, do you want me to also write out this email subject lines month by month so they're optimized for open rates? And it's just going to continue to prompt me with building this out. Has anyone done this already? Or done something similar with like kind of building out kind of a business plan? Okay. Is this helpful, you guys? Hopefully it is. Okay. Mara says yes. Good. All right. So the thing though too that I would kind of do is I would obviously say yes, write out the email subject lines month to month, but then you can take, okay, let's just say my fall home maintenance checklist and then prompt it to create that email for you. And that's where you can cite those sources, see where the information's pulling from, and also, clarify your tone with those emails and ensure, like, okay, my core market is the Metro Milwaukee area. So obviously, the fall home maintenance checklist needs to be specific to the area. But a lot of this information, though, too, you've already fed the AI assistant. So it's going to know you, it's going to know your business. That's why doing all that prep work is so important. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that is everything that I wanted to cover today. Next week, we're going to be going through even more in terms of putting this into action, creating email newsletters, social media content, things like that. But I think starting with the 36 touch is really important because the email newsletters and the social media content is all part of that 36 touch as well. All right. Well, that is all I have if you guys don't have any questions, but you're more than welcome to always reach out to me individually with those questions. Um, but as always, this is recorded, uploaded to YouTube if you want to watch anything back. All right, bye everyone. Thank you for joining.